everyone, welcome back to another video. I have been asked over and over again to do more videos coloring with Crayola. I have my Crayola swatch chart here. I have Johanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder because I love the way the Crayolas perform in this book. We are going to color something that is bright and vibrant, and I'm going to bring in some of the neon colors. I had previously colored something in this book, and I will link that in the upper right hand corner. If you check the description box down below, you will find links down there for my email list, my Facebook group, my Etsy shop, and my Patreon if you'd like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. If you would like to find more information out about that, you can click the join button down below the video. Okay, so I've chosen a page and I've chosen my colors. I did that before I started filming. So let's go ahead and move the swatch chart out of the way. I thought it would be super fun to color this fish here. Beautiful, bright, vibrant colors. So I've put some colors together and I have an idea of what I want to do, but y'all know I will start in one place and I'll change it up as I go. So we're going to have fun with this one today. If you'd like to follow along, go ahead and grab Rooms of Wonder and your Crayolas. I am going to share the colors that I chose, and I'm going to explain why I chose those colors, just like I do in every one of my tutorial videos. Okay, so here is my swatch chart, and I have quite a few colors here that I chose that I'm going to use for this part of the fish. So these colors are just going to be on his body, and the details on the fish are going to be in other colors, but these are some of the colors I chose. I'm not sure, again, that I'm going to use all of them, but I'm going to pick and choose from these colors, and then you can just follow along. But the colors I have are, of course, my absolute favorite, which is Atomic Tangerine. The Atomic Tangerine on the swatch chart is right here. It's a beautiful color. If y'all have been watching my videos for some time, you know that that is my absolute favorite color in this whole entire set. The next one I have is the Sizzling Sunset, and this is what the Sizzling Sunset looks like. Then I have the Fiery Rose, which is right here. So you can see I've got lots of bright, beautiful, vibrant colors. And then I'm going to add some pinks to those colors. I've got Pink Flamingo. The Pink Flamingo is another bright color. And then I have Magenta, because we're going to need our darker shades to blend into some of these. And then I have Raspberry, which is right here. And then the last one I have is Maroon, which is a very dark color. That one is right here. And that one's going to help us to get a lot of added extra depth and dimension and make our bright neon beautiful colors really pop that much more. One of the other colors that I may end up blending into the Atomic Tangerine is this Lemon Glacier. I don't know yet if I'm going to add yellow to the body of the fish. We will see, but I may, so that way when I do the fins, I can create a little bit of balance by bringing the color outward into the fins as well. So I have Blue Teafel, which is a gorgeous color. So the Blue Teafel is right here. That's going to help to create all that added depth and dimension. I don't know if I might bring in a darker blue. I'm really not sure yet. We'll see what we can do with this color. It is pretty dark. And then the Blue Bolt is right here. It's a little bit of a different blue, a little bit more on the teal side. And then I have Absolute Zero, which is right here. And these colors have the same undertone, so they look really nice together. This is just a darker version of the Absolute Zero. But those are the blues that I have, and I love the way these blues go together. And then if I add a little bit of this Lemon Glacier to it, where the blues blend together with the yellow, it's going to create a little bit of a hint of green in the fins, and I think it's going to be really pretty. So let's go ahead and start laying down some of our colors. I think I'm going to start with the Lemon Glacier. And when you're using your Crayolas, do make sure that your tips are nice and sharp. I did sharpen my pencils before I started. And also, when you're using the Crayolas, make sure you're going very, very lightly with your pencils, because you don't want to pile on too many layers in the very beginning. And especially in this book, on this paper, this is the US version of this book. And so the paper is a smoother paper. So because the paper is smoother, you don't want to use too hard a pressure and get rid of all of the tooth in the paper. So now I have my Atomic Tangerine, and I'm going to blend a little bit of the Atomic Tangerine into that Glacier Yellow. And right now I'm just working on applying really super light layers using very, very light pressure. So you probably can't see a whole lot of this color quite yet, but as I lay the color down or continue to lay the color down, you'll be able to see it a lot more. And then when I start to bring in the darker colors, this Atomic Tangerine and the Glacier Yellow, they will both create that pop of color that I like to see in anything that I'm coloring. I think I want a little bit of yellow down here where his mouth is, and then a little bit more right here in the front, because I want to do this part right here just a little bit darker, and then all of these more decorative areas here on the fish a little bit darker so that these really bright colors stand out. Now I have the Sizzling Sunset, and I'm just going to blend some of this color into these other colors. This is a super bright color, so you're really going to start to see that color now just a little bit more. Now I'm going to come down here on the bottom and add a little bit of this. And right now I'm just trying to find a place for my colors and get an idea of what I want to do. And that's why when I'm coloring, I tend to be a little bit slower. It's better to be slow than to rush through it and lay colors where you don't want them and then just be like, oops, and then have to try to come back and lift those colors up. So now I have the Fiery Rose, and the Fiery Rose has a little bit more pink in it, whereas these others have a lot more orange. And I'm just going to work on blending some of this color right into where I laid that Sizzling Sunset, just to get a blend of these two colors. And it's going to also brighten it up just a little bit more. And then right here by the fish's nose, I want a little bit of this blended into that color, because I think when I come back and add some darker colors or more pink over here, these are going to look really pretty right up against the blues that I plan on adding to the fins. So all of my darker colors, when I start to bring in some of these other pinks, they're going to be in the areas where I want to create a separation or add a little bit more depth. And I'm sure that some of these colors I use, you'll be able to see a blend of the two colors, or you'll be able to see more of one color than the other. But that's why I have so many colors, because I know that they look really pretty blended together. But in the beginning, I'm usually not really sure which ones I want to see more of and which ones I want to see less of. And having more colors also helps to add some layers with your colored pencils. So I'm thinking that I might skip over the pink flamingo for now, because I want to start creating a little bit of depth. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with the magenta, and then I'm going to blend it a little bit with the pink flamingo. Make sure you're going very lightly, because you don't want this color to look like you're leaving lines. You want to go in a circular motion and just add some of this color right over the others in all of the places where you want to create that separation or add a little bit of depth. And so I'm just very lightly going in a circular motion in all of those areas right around the decorative spaces, all in and out of these areas here. And I'm going to continue going in a circular motion so I don't have harsh lines anywhere on my fish. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the top. And if you haven't used harder pressure and you have just laid your colors down very, very lightly, you should have no issues laying this color down right on top of those other colors. And then right here where I have this line where his mouth or the front of his face is coming into the back part of his body, I want my darker colors in there because I want quite a bit of depth. And then over here where the front of the fish is, or his nose, I want to add a little bit of that color in there. And I'm still going very, very lightly because I've got other colors I want to add to this. Now I'm going to come up here on the top just to get more of that color down there. I'm holding my pencil to the side and I'm just going sort of back and forth, and then again in a circular motion to pull that color down. Let's go ahead and get a darker color, and I'm going to skip over the raspberry and I'm going to go right to the maroon because I want to start adding a little bit of depth so I could come back and start adding a second layer of those lighter, brighter neon colors. So over here, I'm going to go very lightly and I'm going to make another layer over that darkest color. And this is the darkest color I'm using in this color combination. So this is the main color that I'm going to use to add the extra depth that I want. But because it's so dark and I'm trying to blend it into all of these other colors that are much lighter and brighter, again, I want to go very, very lightly. And if I'm lining around these areas, I do want to still pull it out in a circular motion after I go back and forth, because I'm just trying to create depth and separation between these two areas, and I don't want to see any harsh lines. And I am going to use a lighter pink to come back and blend a little bit of this color out and into the other colors just a little bit. And after I add quite a bit right here, again going in a circular motion, I am going to have to come back with a lighter pink and pull that color into this area because I have a lot of that bright yellow right there. So now I'm going to turn my page just a little bit, and I'm going to come in here, hold my pencil at the side, and I'm going to go back and forth just to sort of line the edges of the fish. And this is what creates all that extra depth and dimension when you use your darker colors, because laying the darker colors down correctly is what is going to make all of those lighter colors stand out so much more. So again, you can see that I'm lining the area and then I'm pulling it down a little bit in a circular motion so you don't see an actual line there. But I love these colors together. And once I come back and add those brighter colors again, you are going to see a drastic difference. I'm going to do the same thing over here, and again I'm going to need some of the lighter pinks to pull this color up towards those other really bright neon colors that I used. So now I'm going to come over here towards the back where his body meets the fin, and I want quite a bit of this color in there, and then down here under the decorative part of the fish. And I'm just going to continue to do the same thing while I line all of these areas and pull it down just a little bit, because I'm going to use the blues in all of this area here, probably with a little bit of yellow. And I think I want to go ahead and add some of this right here because that will help this area to really stand out. And then I'm going to add just a little bit down here and pull it up towards these other colors. And then down here on the bottom, I'm going to do the same thing. So I have all my colors laying here, and they're all in order from the darkest to the lightest colors that I'm using. And then of course I have the yellow here on the end. But I always leave my Crayolas laying like that because a lot of times with the Crayolas, the color on the barrel is very different than what you see on the tip of the pencil. But that's how I go about making sure that I don't lay the wrong color in the wrong place. So now I'm going to go through my color combination again, and I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to use the magenta just to pull down just a little bit and blend it into these other colors. And I'm not going to pull it down too much because I still need to come back with these other bright colors and really brighten this up. Now I'm going to grab the pink flamingo. It's a pretty bright pink, and so I'm going to use this now and pull this color into where I laid those shades of orange and yellow and just blend these colors out, adding a little bit of brightness. Okay, so now we're going to work on really starting to bring back that pop of color. So I've got my fiery rose. This is a really bright corally color, and it's super pretty. And I'm just going right over all of these little dots and such that are on the fish because I'm going to do something else with those. Now I don't want to pull this up too much because I really want to come back with my atomic tangerine, and I have a couple other bright colors that I want to add in here. So this is my sizzling sunset, and we're going to add some of this in here. Oh, this color is so beautiful. Let's add a little bit down here, and I'm using a little bit harder pressure so I could really pull in some of that bright color. I did go down into that fin just a little bit because I think that'll be pretty blended in with the blues once I get to those. So now I have the atomic tangerine, which is my absolute favorite color in this colored pencil set. And I am going to start blending some of this color in here now. And look how that just brightens it up. Oh my gosh, this color is so pretty. So now I have my lemon glacier, and I am going to use harder pressure and really brighten this up now with the yellow. And I'm going to put a lot of it over this set of fins right here. Oh my gosh, this yellow looks gorgeous blended in here. But I'm going to add a lot right here under the fish's eye, and then over here where his mouth is, and then down here right over these colors, and look how it pops. So pretty. And then I'm going to bring it down into this fin. I'm going to go ahead and add a little to this fin and this one. But oh my gosh, this yellow makes such a difference. And the more that you just continue to lay down, the color will still lay down onto the paper and blend it in with these other colors. It makes everything pop all that much more. It's such a pretty color. But it's all about just layering your colors, and as long as you start with a very light pressure, you should not have an issue with your Crayolas laying that color, more and more of it. And your light colors, as you can see, should still go right over those other colors as long as you continue to use light pressure. Now I have my maroon, and I'm going to work on adding a little bit more depth by doing the same thing I was doing before, but this is just going to add another layer and really intensify that color. Look how much it's darkening it up and adding all that much more depth. I think I need a little bit right down here. And then I think I want this part of the fish to be maroon, and I'm just going to straight color that right there. And then I'm going to add a little bit more color in all of these areas here. And then right here where the body meets the fin, I want to add quite a bit of that color in there. And then again here to the back of the fish, and then everywhere that this decorative space is meeting with the body of the fish. And then I want to come down here along the bottom of the fish and do the same thing. I'm going to use my brighter pink just to spread that color out just a little bit. And I went out of the lines right here, so I'm just going to use this color to blend it and pull it upward just a little. And then I'm going to use a circular motion and pull the color upward. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Okay, so now I am going to add just a tad bit of yellow in all of these spaces here. I don't know yet if I'm just going to go over that yellow, if I want these all blue. I guess we're going to find out here really quickly. I'm going to start by laying some of my absolute zero right in here. And then these spaces here, I don't know, they're super, super small, and I think I went into that area with my other colors. So let's see what we can do. These bases are so small. Okay, so now I have my blue bolt, and this one is going to add quite a bit more color. I think maybe I'm gonna leave the yellow, well, I don't know, the yellow, yeah, oh, I like that. Okay, so adding that yellow there is actually doing what I thought it would do. It's creating a little bit of green, which is what I wanted it to do. And I do want this right here to be blue, so let's go ahead and color that in, and let me give it a pop of yellow right there. Okay, so now I have the beautiful. Okay, so let me try to do these really teeny tiny small areas first. So you should probably make sure your pencil is really super sharp when you come in here and do this, so that way you don't pull the color down too much. But I'm gonna go ahead and line the outside of each one of these, and then I'm gonna come in and add a pop of yellow, and we'll see what that does. Oh, that worked. Okay, so let me go ahead and do the same thing here. So I'm just gonna line this part right here with my beautiful, and I'm gonna do the same thing for this one. And then here, so now I have my absolute zero, and I'm gonna just blend out some of that color. And I'm trying not to go too far into some of these spaces because I want to be able to see that yellow that I laid in there, because I want the yellow to blend with the blue and create that really beautiful shade of bright green. Let me go ahead and blend this out just a little bit by adding some of my yellow, and then I'm going to do the same thing all through here. Oh, I like it. Now I have my beautiful again, and I'm just going to come in here and add a little bit more of this. So now I have my absolute zero, and I'm just going to blend some of these colors out. I'm just kind of using the tip of my pencil to pull the color in towards the lemon glacier, but still leaving that pop of yellow in there. I think I'm gonna go around the outside of the eye with my blue T-fold and then maybe add a pop of yellow in there too. Okay, so now we just need to finish off the fins, and those should be pretty quick. I am going to just lay one layer of my lemon glacier, and I'm just gonna use an up and down motion like this and go through each one of the fins. Now I'm gonna do the back fin, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just going up and down and back and forth and just adding this color in there, and I'm sort of skipping over some of the areas and leaving it white. I think I'm gonna go right to my blue bolt. I'm gonna use a motion like this where I just pull the color out and I'm using the lines to guide me, and then I'm gonna go from the bottom and I'm just going to add some lines like this as well. All I'm doing is just using the lines to guide me, and I'm just gonna keep adding a combination of these colors, and these should be fairly quick. And I am going to come back with that yellow and brighten it up, but once the two colors come together, it's going to create a combination of the colors and they're going to turn a little bit green. I have the absolute 0, and I'm going to do the same thing with this color, because if you remember, this color was more of a very pale blue, but it leaned more towards like a blue green. So the blend of all of these colors is going to be really pretty. And now I have my darkest blue, my blue T-fold, and I am going to use this one to just go over some of these lines too and add a bit of color in here. And I think down here I want to work on covering a little bit of that line art on the fins and creating a little bit of depth, and here where it's touching some of the other things on the page, I want to make sure those areas are just a little bit darker. I'm going to hold my pencil at the side and just go back and forth down here at the bottom, and I'm going to do this all the way across. I'm kind of trying to follow the line art. It's sort of squiggly. And then I'm going to use my absolute 0 and I'm going to blend some of that color out. The absolute 0 was my lightest blue. Okay, so now I have my glacier yellow, and we're going to come back and add that pop of color in there. Wow. Oh, so pretty. Oh my gosh, look at that. And that fin is finished off. Look how gorgeous it looks. Oh my goodness, I think this turned out better than I thought it was going to be, or better than what I had envisioned when I started. We are not done. I'm going to finish coloring the last two fins. I'm going to speed it up to music. And then after I'm done doing that, I'm going to bring in something else and really make him pop. So stay tuned for that. Since you already know how I colored the fin, I'm just going to do it really quickly on these last couple fins, and these here are super, super small. Okay, so my fish is done, and I did decide to add some of the sizzling sunset into my fins. I tried it here and it looked really, really good. So I went around and I just added it to the rest of them. And oh my gosh, I love it. It just brought everything together. So y'all, now we need to add some stickles because this fish is just not complete without stickles. So I'm gonna go grab some colors. Okay, so for those of you that have been watching my videos for quite some time, you know that my favorite colors are the grapefruit and sunburst. And I'm gonna use these two colors. I think that they would look really pretty. I also grabbed sea glass, which is another really beautiful color. And I think I'm gonna try to add some dots on the fish with the sea glass just to bring the blue from the outside towards the center. And we're gonna see how this looks. And if it doesn't look good, I'll pull it up, but let's see what happens. Oh, I think I like it. That is super, super pretty. Oh yes, that does look good. So let's do the ones down here. And I am barely pushing on the stickles bottle because these dots are so super, super small. So I don't want the color to spread. I just want to barely tap it. Oh my gosh, I love it. Maybe I'll put a little bit here around the eye just to add a little something there. Oh, that is super pretty. Okay, so let's see, what are we gonna do with these other colors? I think actually that I wanna add a little bit of grapefruit in here, because if you remember, I added that really bright orangey color, but I think this will look really pretty where I laid that color just to give it a little bit more of a pop. Oh, I love it. So I'm just sort of spreading the stickles a little bit right here and then a tad bit here. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. And then we're gonna do the same thing down through here. And I'm just laying it down and spreading the color so that it doesn't look like it's all in one place. Here, so I'm just trying to lay it wherever I laid those brighter colors. Oh my gosh, that just did it. That's so pretty. And now I'm gonna use the sunburst, and I'm gonna use the sunburst just over these fins here, just to give them a little bit of depth that they didn't originally have because I didn't really do anything with them. So now they have depth. And that is so super pretty. I think we need a little bit of sunburst over here on the decorative parts, and then here where we've got these scalloped areas, just to add a little bit of something to them. And then maybe on this one right here. Oh my gosh. I love it. I absolutely love it. Y'all have to let me know what you think in the comments below, but I love how this turned out. Okay, y'all, so we ended up using a lot of colors. I changed it up as I went, and I love how it turned out. If you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do plan on doing more with Crayola because it is like probably one of the #1 things that y'all request. If you have any suggestions or any other books even, let me know in the comments below. Everything that you've seen in this video will be in the description box below so that you can easily find it. All of these colors are from the 120 Crayola set, and I believe that you can only get that Atomic Tangerine, which is my favorite color, in the 120 set. I don't think it comes in the 100 set, but all of that will be linked in the description box below. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.